All right, so it's me again, YouTube, Hunter. And it turns out tomorrow is a holiday. And a lot of the times in Germany, I forget about the holidays because there are lots of holidays here. And I decided with this holiday, I would take a day's trip to Karlsruhe and take a few pictures of the castle there. And there's a large art museum there that I also would like to work inside of. And once again, I thought I would just take you along with me and I don't know, just share with you some thoughts while I'm working for the day. Yeah, my train's gonna leave in like 30 minutes, so it's time to go. All right, so I finally get the chance to sit down for a second. I wanted to explain to you why I'm in Karlsruhe at all and tell you what the plan for tomorrow is, because this whole trip is pretty short notice because like I said, I forgot it's a holiday. Quick story, a quick few updates in advance. I have changed the way I start searching for my cities that I should travel to photograph. I'm now using Google Trends, and I'm looking for a ratio between the demand in Google Trends and the available pictures of a certain city by Shutterstock, for example. And Karlsruhe has a relatively high demand compared to cities like Tübingen or Baden-Baden, which are cities in the area. And both of those cities also have quite a lot of pictures in Shutterstock. So Karlsruhe has, for example, only 900, while Stuttgart has 13,000, and Baden-Baden, although it's small and relatively unknown, has 16,000. So the ratio of Karlsruhe is pretty advantageous, I think. So that was one of the reasons I came to Karlsruhe. The second reason was I actually recently got my highest commission ever, which was $100 on one picture. And the reason I am coming to Karlsruhe, even though it's only an hour away from Stuttgart, I am going to spend the night here. I'm actually going to go to bed in a little bit, even though it's only 8:30, because I need to get up around 4 o'clock tomorrow to capture the sunrise over the castle here, which that picture is just for me. I just think the castle is beautiful and I want to capture that. And as well as being a useful photo of the city, it, for me, will just be a beautiful photo in general. And otherwise, I think it's a pretty good use of a holiday. And I'll be going back to Stuttgart tomorrow at like 8 o'clock. So that's kind of the plan of what's going on here in Karlsruhe for the next, for this afternoon and tomorrow. So what I'm going to do now is maybe go downstairs, have a beer, and then come back upstairs and go to bed, because I'm going to need to be well rested for tomorrow. I'm actually pretty excited to spend the day in Karlsruhe. So far, based on the arrival, it seems like a pretty peaceful city, if you want to call it that. The arrival didn't feel like I was actually in a city. It just felt like I was arriving in a sort of upgraded German village. It's very quiet, and there was someone playing classical music, and there are only 3 hostels here in Karlsruhe. I don't know the population of Karlsruhe, but I would guess based on how big it is, maybe it has a population of like 200,000 people. Maybe it's like a third the size of Stuttgart. But yeah, I'm going to leave you for now, and I will probably see you in the morning. All right, einen wunderschönen guten Morgen.
I'll tell you, it's like 4:45 a.m. right now, and the sheer insanity of getting up this early just to take some photos is always almost therapeutic, because you go back home later and everything in comparison seems much more normal. It happens every time, but I love this feeling. And in a new city, and we're just walking around. The hostel is pretty good. I already checked out, and yeah, the day is starting very early, and I'm gonna watch the city wake up, and I have about 30 minutes until we get to the castle, so let's have some fun today. All right, get enough coffee. All right, are you looking? Are you looking? Boom. Oh man. And the sunrise has just started. So we still have about an hour before the sky is done giving a very fiery performance.
You know, one thing I sometimes do that might help others is actually just leave my house and walk in any random direction and just keep walking for hours, and just take your camera with you. And as you walk along, like right now, me in this park that I have no idea where I am, I just keep walking. And you can do this for hours and hours. And if you have your camera with you, anytime you find something interesting or that reminds you of something that could be used commercially, you just take a picture of it. And before you know it, without actually focusing on stock photography as a method of work, you have taken hundreds of pictures of things that you just find beautiful. And a lot of the times, these things will sell just fine. And a lot of the times, the things that sell for big money are the things that you don't really expect. And while you can use these results as sort of a guide for what you should be capturing more often, in my experience so far, I just keep getting random sales for pictures that I at the time just took because I thought something looked nice. So don't worry about working, just have fun and look at pretty things. I don't know why, but this building is awesome, isn't it? I like this little mansion castle hybrid thing better than the actual main castle of Karlsruhe. This place is awesome. I'm gonna spend like an hour here just taking pictures. This is super cool. It's crazy. After a few hours of this, you start to notice how the speed of your walk slows down, and it's almost as if relaxation starts to seep in. Yet I'm still working, but it's so meditative and pleasant. And it has been a while, so I'm gonna go get lunch now, and then I will continue when I get to the art museum. But so far it's been a really productive day, and I honestly get the feeling that I might reach the originally funny, unrealistic goal of 100 images of Karlsruhe outside, not at the art museum. Because if I have 100 images, at least I told myself, I will have a tenth of the Karlsruhe stock photos that are online, which gives me pretty good chances of getting a photo sold, right? So at this point, I have been walking for around 7 hours. Wow. I am pretty tired, but I have around 200 photos ready that I think are going to be edited and published. So this trip is going to be incredibly productive, but I'm going to take a nap in this chapel now. All right, so progress is pretty incredible today. Just finished the art museum, and now I am going to go back to the hostel and take a break because it's only lunchtime. I've been walking around now for about 7.5 hours, and gosh, you know, today I have been, I guess I'm working right now. It doesn't feel like it, but I have been working for quite a while, and it's time to take a break because my phone's about to die, and this is my 3rd camera battery, so I need to recharge those as well. But it's looking like when I get back to edit these photos and these videos that I am going to have quite a sizable portion of the Karlsruhe market on Shutterstock, and yeah, today's been the most productive days in months, and pretty interesting, but I will get back once I'm done taking a nap.
So I have like 4 hours until my train comes, but I'm gonna go get something to eat and leave the rest of my stuff in the luggage room. So the next part of this video is just gonna cut straight to the summary of how this trip was and the scoring.
All right, so it has actually been a month after I started editing that video, because the weeks after that video were exams, and of course I must be a diligent student, and my exams took priority over my photography work, which I hope you can understand, and I explained that in a previous entry, but if you haven't seen it, that's why this took so long to upload. From what I can remember about what had happened in Karlsruhe, it was a really productive trip, and I came back and got some 190 images published on Shutterstock, which is all just fantastic. The Karlsruhe images themselves have not returned the investment, but I've definitely noticed a larger proportion of Karlsruhe images selling compared to the images that I've taken in Stuttgart, because the inventory of Stuttgart images is of course really huge, and Stuttgart in Vergleich with the comparison is not as demanded as a place like Karlsruhe for the number of images they have. So I think this strategy with Google Trends does work pretty well, but I should carefully consider where I go and how much money I'm going to spend, because it can be expensive. However, I was at least able to keep the costs down for the most part in Karlsruhe. I didn't pay too much. I think it was less than 100 euros. Otherwise, it was quite a nice city. A lot of construction going on. There was construction in almost every main street. Really a little strange, and it kind of took away from the attractiveness of the city. But it was a quaint, medium-sized German city, and I did enjoy my time there. Lastly, and I can't emphasize this enough because I think I've said this in previous videos. I really appreciate the referrals that I've been getting. Since coming back from Karlsruhe, I have been seeing over 30 referrals on Dreamstime, and Shutterstock doesn't count my referrals, but I'm actually seeing all of the images that are being sold by my referred photographers on Shutterstock. And I really appreciate, one, the talent, and two, the cleverness that my referred photographers have. I'm considering making another video about my favorite images made by referred photographers, because there are some really talented photographers, and there's one photographer that has done something very genius, and I'm not going to copy it, but that guy is very smart with his Bitcoin idea. That's pretty much all I want to say about Karlsruhe. I hope you enjoyed some of these images that came from Karlsruhe, and I will see you in some upcoming videos, because summer has started yesterday and I have quite a few video ideas coming through. And yes, this will not be the last time that we see each other. I will definitely see you again soon. So, goodbye.